Hello, happy Friday! We made it through the first week of school. Congratulations, everyone. If you can hear me and see me, can you just let me know in the chat just so that I know everything is working correctly? I have a new setup today. So I'm at Edison helping with Chromebooks. So I just want to double check to make sure that my sound and my video is working. I know there is a lag. Oh, yes. Perfect. Fantastic. So again, happy Friday. Congratulations on making it through the first week. I am Allison Schlofelt, the coordinator of digital integration for South Bend Schools. Like I said, I am at Edison today, so different setup. There may be some noises. Doing the best we can, right? So today we're going to talk EduProtocols and SmartStarts that build community, build culture, and let us dive deeper into curriculum because of these SmartStarts. So, secret, I am going to hand you a week worth of lesson plans already done for you today. So be ready. This is going to be recorded. It is going to be on our YouTube channel. It does take about 24 hours to process. So after this live recording is over, it'll be up tomorrow. This slide deck is also on our Canvas course. If you see me look over, it's because your comments are over here. I will try and keep up with them. I will also just take some questions at the end as well. So, SmartStart is simply the process of setting aside the curriculum in order to build culture. This is completely different than what our literacy coordinator is calling a SmartStart as well. So I know at the elementary level, Cy has been talking about SmartStarts in terms of like literacy stuff. So this is different. This is from EduProtocols. This comes from the book EduProtocols by John Carippo. It's a fantastic book. If you do not have it, I highly recommend purchasing it. So these kind of SmartStarts is a process of setting aside the curriculum in order to build culture first in your classrooms. We need to teach our routines through relationship building content. By doing this, we're helping our students build relationships and learn routines in the same process. Through creating the sense of community, it helps students develop a sense of belonging, which we need a lot right now. We desperately need this sense of belonging right now because of the virtual aspect of school and this remote and distance learning. When we teach routines through this relationship building content, our students know what to do, and then they're more at ease and can focus on learning the content rather than learning like the application or the technology that we're trying to use or the template. So we're going to call this like a task before app mindset. So we're going to teach students how to learn, not what to learn. So we're going to first teach them how to do it, what template to use, how the technology works, and then we throw in what we want them to learn. We throw in that content, that application, how to, or what to learn and how to learn. So we're going to teach routines through relationship building content to ease that, bring in some social emotional learning, things like that. So our lovely John Carippo EduProtocol Field Guide, he is one of my favorite people in the entire world. Look him up. He is fantastic. He presented at EdTech in the Bend this past summer, just a couple weeks ago. Phenomenal. He is one of my greatest and dearest friends. So this is his SmartStart 4-day plan for you. This whole left column, and again, this is on the slide deck. So it will be on our Canvas page. If you click it, it will link you directly to the drawing. And then these directly link to different things. So for example, this whole yellow column is the directions of how to do things. So if we want to learn how to frayer, we can click on it and it's going to open directions on how to frayer a friend. I'm going to give it a second. It's going to have a use template if you want to use it. So this whole frayer a friend idea, if we go back to the SmartStarts, he has us starting with frayering a friend, and then frayering a sport, and then frayering a band, and then a class choice. And all of these are linkable. So when you frayer a friend, each day the students are going to complete a different frayer model. This helps our students get to know each other. It helps them recognize similarities. What do they have in common? What are their interests? They're having fun? And then you can extend this activity through the school year by using vocabulary and concepts, setting the example on, this would be this next slide. This would be their example of extending it to a content. So, for example, on day 1, there you go, day 1 for a friend, right? So if you click this link on for a friend, it's going to take you to this, and you can use this as a template. So on day 1, you can have your students open this frayer model, have them choose a friend, whether you have them choose a person in the classroom, if you have them choose anybody, whether it be in your classroom or not. You describe your friend, they describe their dream pet, what are 4 things they do not like, and what are 4 things they like. So then on day 2, you change it up and they frayer a sport or an activity. Still getting to know them, right? This is still that social emotional learning. It's still that relationship building aspect. Day 3, they're fraying a band or an artist, because not all of our students are sports. Not all of our students are music people. Not all of them are artsy. So it's kind of giving them whatever they want, whatever the interest they have. And then they're going to share them, right? So that Annie can teach about her favorite band to Joe in class, and Joe learns something about Annie, even though we're not face-to-face right now. Day 4 is up to them, or up to you as the teacher, right? And then we extend it to the content of a parallelogram, right? In math class, using this frayer model to learn different vocabulary or concepts. I know in Riley's engineering classroom, they use the frayer model to look up different engineers or different just engineering concepts. So I will show you one that a Riley teacher has done this past week. Oops, sorry, guys. She did it yesterday, and my drive is going to be messy. So I need a session on how to organize my Google Drive. That's going to have to happen because I need it. In the meantime, how can we have them respond to one another digitally? Yeah, so, yep, would the class have this on a shareable slide? Exactly. I'm going to answer both of them with the same thing. You can have it, each student has a different slide that they fill out, and then they can talk on there, right? So Annie would have a slide, Joe would have a slide, I would have a slide, exactly like this that I'm about to show you. This is Mrs. Simone. She's at Riley. She's a biology teacher. She gave this to her students today, the entire slide deck. And this is still going to be the template, but I can attach the video. So she showed in a model, right? Because we need to model for our students what we want them to do. She created the template, and then she gave each student a slide. So she would say, Allison, you're on slide 2. Annie, you're on slide 3. Joe, you're on slide 4. Her students come in here and complete this. And I believe that they then shared them on a live Google Meet so that staff or teachers or students can see each other and talk about it. So this is a fun one. She used Quarantine Buddies, her chill song, a picture of her, and she used a Bitmoji just to model that it doesn't have to be a picture of you, like face-to-face picture, and her favorite food. There is a video. She said this went fantastic today in class. She shared a video with me of how it worked. I will post that in my slide deck so that if you want to see how students interact on it, that will be in our slide deck for later. I also want to throw a shout out to another session happening next week. Sarah Steph, I believe it is on the secondary schedule, but elementary people are more than welcome to join it. It is called How to Blend with EduProtocols, and she's going to go a little more in depth with all of these. So that's frayer friend, right? And so you start with things that our students know. They know they have friends. They know their sports. They know bands. They know their interests. And then after they get that frayer model, you can just continually start saying frayer, and they know exactly what to do. Yes, Aaron, he does have examples for littles. You can probably, I mean, these, you can make these extremely basic for the littles and make them colorful and things like that, and share. I mean, you can change these. You can change the topics, the little questions, to more of whatever your topic is that you want. I mean, really, in littles, you could put frayer a letter and give each student a letter and say, here's my letter, letter A, right? Here's a picture of something that starts with the letter A. Here's something that uses the sound of a letter A. And then a fourth thing about a letter. So could you make an example that has video to explain what goes in that box? Yes, you could. So, yep, you could add a video to explain what goes in each box. Is that what you're asking, Thomas? I'm sorry. But yeah, you could create a video example to show students what goes in each box. For sure. So that happens on day 1. This is, again, 4 days of lesson plans for you in terms of relationship building, and then you can get into deeper content using these same templates. The positive to EduProtocols is that it is a basic template, and then, so it's a basic template that can be used over and over. You just switch out the content. The students can interview each other, so you could have, what grade do you teach, Tammy? Or what level? So what I'm thinking in terms of students interviewing each other, you could give them their own little slide deck, right? Like with just 2 or 3 people in it. And then from there, they can collaborate and talk and that kind of thing. I'm not 100% sure being outside it or like, remote learning, if interviewing is the best way to do this, or if it's let me tell you about me and then share it into a Google Meet. So if I was teaching littles, I would say create this all about you page, or this frayer a friend, and then you're going to tell the class about that friend. So, or frayer a pet, right? So then I would frayer my dog, and then in my Google Live session, my morning meeting, I would share my slide of my dog. Does that make sense? So I would more so right now not necessarily use this as an interviewing. I would in person for sure. But I would use it more so for about me or let me share my learning with you once it gets to content. Yes, Barb. Yes. And it could be that, like Barb said, you could give them the template and, in Google Classroom, make a copy for each student, have them complete it. The teacher puts them all in a class PowerPoint and then share it out during the Google Meet and let each student unpause, share, and then mute again. Yes, Caroline, I'm so glad I have my digital integration specialist in this chat, because my elementary minded people, so I'm super secondary, right? Like that's my experience, that's my background is secondary. So thank you, Barb. Thank you, Caroline. All my elementary digital integration specialists always have my back on elementary stuff. So thanks, guys. I am going to move down to Bukakucha. Okay, and so what he gives you is a bunch of different options for every single every single day, every single SmartStart. So he technically says day one, like you could just run through all these. I don't think that's realistic at the elementary level because that's a lot of different technology. So if I were you, I would kind of make this like the morning meeting, relationship building, just one part of it. And maybe you start with frayer friend and then you add in these other ones, right? Because some of them are a lot. So I'm gonna skip Buka Kucha and talk about thin slides. Thin slides are nice because, let this open. So thin slides is an opportunity to help students connect to one another. You can again point out similarities, etc. So a thin slide is one word or phrase, one image, and one slide, and then it's a 3-minute presentation. Oh, cool, Erica. Will you share in the chat how you used it with the kids? So you could choose any topic you want. For example, he just says use thin slides. Day one, a food people should not eat, right? So then your students are going to create a slide with one word on it. So mine would probably say Brussels sprouts. One image, and I would put probably a Brussels sprout. And it's going to be one slide, right? And then I would give myself, yes, see, Erica, we're on the same page. And then I would be able to talk for 3 minutes or so about why I think Brussels sprouts, people should not eat them ever because they're gross. 3 minutes is a lot for a little to talk, so I would maybe just kind of keep them under that, especially in our live recordings. So you could use things like a food people should not eat, or best movie ever, or best memory, or your dream job. And then after you build this relationship building and they start to understand what a thin slide is and what it does and how to do it, oh, that's true, Erica. Yes, the rabbit. So my first thin slide was a food people shouldn't eat. And I said tacos because I don't want anyone else to eat tacos so that I can have all the tacos. So that was my mindset. And so that's exactly how I would explain it too, right? Like I'd be like, listen, people should never eat tacos because I need all the tacos for myself. So, and it's really cool because then students are also like getting that persuasion and getting that start to talk about ethos, logos, and pathos. And I know that's higher up, but if we start to talk about it in littles and different terminology, it will be cool. Yes, Kimberly, the thin slides do assume that students know how to do Google Slides. So you would probably create a video or show them how to make a new slide, how to insert a picture, and how to insert text. That's all they really need to do to it because it is only one picture and one word. So it's really nice. It's actually a really nice activity to get students learning how to do slides and also speak about their learning. So after you use these things such as this relationship building fun topics, you can start bringing in different content. Give me one word and one picture about the book we read, or one word and one picture about the science experiment, or the president we talked about. And you can even change it, right? You could give each student a different president and thin slide so that at the end of it, everybody knows everything about all the presidents based on these thin slides. This is an example of one that they did for literary devices, puns, things like that. They did one with explorers, reading passages. Yep, you could get a little deeper with emotions. That's good. Yes. Perfect. So that's a thin slide. I like thin slides. I also really like the random emoji. Sorry, my computer is slow. So random emoji is fun, and we did random emoji as a DIS group last year. It was fun. It's cool to see what everybody comes with. So you would use something like Socrative, or I mean, really, you could still use like a Google Doc or a Google Slides. And again, this does help you integrate technology at basic levels, right? Because these templates will then help the students learn Google Docs and Google Slides or Socrative. They're helping these students learn the tools, but they're using fun tasks, which helps the students grasp them and comprehend them because they're not trying to learn a technology and content. It's one or the other. We can't do both. So you make like a real quick short answer quiz in Socrative. You use this random emoji. And you give them like less than a minute to write a sentence about it. So what we can do is okay, so we're going to start over, right? So if you're doing this right now in the chat, I'm going to give you 3 emojis. Okay, so write one sentence about a fish right now, but don't press enter. Okay, don't press enter yet. Just write one sentence about a fish. And now you're going to use the same sentence. It has to connect to your second sentence about this sly cat. I don't know. You tell me what his face is doing. Okay, don't press enter yet. We're going to do one more. And again, you could be doing this on a live Google Meet with your students as well, right? Just like we are. Your third sentence is going to have to do with that emoji. And then after you have your 3 sentences, one sentence about the fish, one sentence about the cat, and one sentence about that face, you can press enter and add it to the chat. And we'll just read some funny ones. So then what you would do in class is in Socrative, it'll show you all of them, and then students can vote on their favorites, whether you say which one connects the most, which one has the best theme, which one has the best characters, etc. The fish is big. Oh, the fish is big. The cat is eating the fish. The fish is worried. Oh, wait, hold on. Fish are not food. The cat should not eat his friends. However, he was hungry and couldn't control himself. Oh my gosh, Jill, that was so good. Fish swim in schools. They must avoid the scary catfish, but he is scared and swims away. That's awesome. You guys, these are so great. See, so you're helping students learn sentence building. I mean, really, it could just be one word. It could be 2-word sentences depending on your age group. Fish are slimy. The cat has attitude. Why are you sad? Yes. Oh my gosh. The fish swam in the ocean when out of nowhere a cat came to the pond to hunt. Then fish zigged and zagged away as fast as he could to not get eaten. Nice. You guys see, this is great. So again, if you have way littles, it may be words, right? As you progress up into the higher grades, it can be sentences or multi-word sentences, or progress it up as it would go. And I mean, it's so much fun. It just keeps going and going. I mean, there's no stopping. We have yet to find a non-school appropriate one. So that's a positive, right? So, I mean, you can just keep going and going. So if you want paragraphs, right, you can keep going. And then you can have students turn it in and go from there. Yeah, this is an awesome idea for writing because they're writing about content, but they're writing it how they want to write it, right? Like we're not, the website is birdseed.com/emoji2, Erica. And I can put that in the chat. So this is called Emoji Paragraph. And so it's getting students to write for fun, but we're sneaking content in there, right? Like we're still working on sentence building and transitions and things like that. So you can add in Writer's Workshop mini lessons and still have them writing about funny emojis so they don't really think they're learning, but they're learning. So sneak that little tidbit in there. This is one of my favorites. I always have so much fun doing this one. Any other questions on emoji prompts? Perfect. So we can show a math one for all our math people. I know you guys teach everything. So math is very similar to Math Reps is very similar to kind of like Frayer. So it's templates already made for you. So I'm going to choose the K2 one. I'll click on all of them and I'll do the 3-5 later. Oh, it's bringing me an entire folder of stuff. Yes, Erica. So Socrative is a good one to use for the emoji paragraph because it lets you kind of answer it as you go. You can have them create a short answer and then everybody in the class can see it. Another way, you can do it like we did in the chat. You can do it on a Google Doc. You can have each student have their own slide. It depends on what you want to do technology-wise and what your kids are able to do. So these are examples of math reps. So this is a first grade graph that this teacher would send out to their staff. Where did my math rep slide go? Okay. While that loads, we're going to come back to here and go to math reps directions. So math rep is designed to review related math concepts with multiple representations. This helps create fluency of the math concepts and spiral review, which is super important for our students. And he does, yes, Cynthia, this slide deck that I have is in the Canvas course and everything is linkable. So he does he does encourage us to start the school year with the grade below, especially now with our remote learning. So day one, math reps give students an overview and 10 minutes of independent work time. You would revisit the math rep from day one to reteach and review. On day 3, you would provide a new math rep. And then on day 4, you would revisit the math rep, reteach and review. So it's that whole repetition aspect of it. And Sarah Steff, again, next week is doing a little more extensive, a little more in-depth of the EduProtocols. So she's awesome at math rep. She's a math teacher. So she will be a super good resource for you guys if you're interested in the math part. So again, these are the levels. So first grade, is this loaded for us? Yes. So this is the template. So as you can see, like favorite food, this is talking about first graders graphing. So you make it about things, again, that are fun for them, right? Things they know. So they're trying to figure out what is the most common favorite food, and they're using the graphs to graph it. And then they answer the questions on the side. So what you would focus on is you would reteach it. You would do the favorite food one. You would reteach it with what pet would you like. You have a would you rather. Would you rather it be sunny, rainy, snowing? So there are math-specific EduProtocols. Lori, this list of resources is in the presentation, the slide deck that's within the Canvas course. So I was going to find you. That's a first grade example. I was going to show you a 3 to 5 example. There's also 6 to 8 and high school level. So 3 to 5, we'll click on the 5th grade because we did 1st grade. And so each one of his examples starts with instructions to help you. He has teaching them using a blank board game, showing them how to fill in the math reps page. So he's a big I do, we do, you do as well. So here's your blank template of today's number. You would choose your number, or you could let them. And then they would fill out the rest of this. They would do the fraction, the word form, blank times 10 to the 3rd power. I'm assuming these are all 5th grade standards. And then these are ones that have been filled in. You can model for them. You can use cute little characters. So these math ones are pretty cool. They just make it math specific, which is nice because a lot of our technology does not come with math specific lesson plans. So he has really thought about it. And also one thing for sure, so this is EduProtocol Field Book 1, and this is Book 2. The 3rd one is either coming out soon or is out now, but it is completely math-based. So if you want to focus on EduProtocols in your math classroom, there is a book coming out or already came out that is specifically math EduProtocols. So those will be super beneficial for you guys if you like the EduProtocol idea. So again, with using these, you're going to continually use the same template, right? So like you only have to create this one time, and then you just change the pictures in a couple words and you're good to go. Your kids already know what exactly to do, what to put in the boxes, how to color them, and how to answer. And so you can dive deeper and deeper into this graphing concept after they have learned the basics of the technology, basics of the task that you're asking them to do. So there is a ton of resources, I know. And again, yep. So this is the slide deck that is in the Canvas course. If you click on this picture, it will take you to the one that can link. Ashley, we have a lot of, the DIS, your digital integration specialist should have a copy. And we can, yeah, they should have one in their library. We can work on getting some more options out there, or some more copies out there to you guys. Oh, good question, Katie. I like using a master slide, and I know that in our session, actually following me in the Getting Good with Google slides, they're going to be talking about the master slide. But I think background's a good option too. The difference with background is that you still have to put in those text box on each one. So it's just kind of your liking. Katie, feel free to change my mind, or feel free to pro con both sides, but I'm a master slide fan, so I would go master slide, but maybe background's easier for elementary. So sketch and tell is one that's math, so I'm going to talk about is art. So I'm going to talk about sketch and tell just to make sure we cover a lot of different areas. So sketch and tell is kind of similar to the thin slides. You have one source, one slide, you explain your drawing, or by drawing, and then you explain by writing. So it does get a little more intensive in terms of explaining, no screenshots or images. So this one, students sketch using the drawing tools or shapes tools. So this may be more upper elementary than the littles, than like the real littles. And then they can tell a partner or a classmate or your live video call about their sketch. And then they also get to write. So the positive to it is that I'm sketching something. Oh, look, or share on a Flipgrid. Oh my gosh, they think of everything. So I'm going to sketch something, whether it be sketch the setting in the story we just read. I would sketch it using the tools, the shapes or the drawing tools. I would then write about it, right? Like I would put it into words or sentences, and then I could share this on Flipgrid or in my live meet or anything like that. So just another form of visual. You can sketch it using a graph, so it could be cool in math classes still again. So he says, sketch your favorite frozen dessert on day 1. Sketch your hobby or your talent, your dream bedroom, your dream vacation. Again, using those things that they don't really have to understand or comprehend content. They're more so learning the task, what you want them to do or how you want them to do it. And then you throw in the content to help them and learn what you want them to learn. These are all things that they already know, right? So they're going to learn how you want them to show their mastery, and then you throw them what you want them to master. So for this one, my favorite frozen dessert, I'd draw an ice cream cone, and I could do it with the upside down triangle and then a circle. And then I would write about my favorite frozen dessert is an ice cream cone. And then I would share it on Flipgrid or in a live meet. This recording will be on YouTube. It should be up tomorrow, Sheila. It takes about 24 hours to process. Okay, so is there one on here that I didn't talk about that you want me to talk about? Again, they are all linkable. You can get to any of them. Some of them are more secondary, middle school, and high school. But in the book, and I think on his website, he does say how almost every single one can be put to littles and work with the elementaries. Buka Kucha is fun, especially since we are focusing on literacy this year. Still, we always focus on literacy, right? So literacy is making students accountable for the independent reading with like a basic book report. And I know this looks like a lot, but you can make it for littles, I promise. So students read or watch any content you want them to watch. You choose the theme for the student. So maybe you're choosing character development or conflict. And then students create one slide with references to the text or video around the topic. And they can add images to reinforce that. And then they present their slide to a class or a small group, whether it be your live meeting or, again, Flipgrid, things like that. So these are topics that they would extend to. Remember, we do it with things that we already know, and then we extend it to the content. We can talk characters or lessons learned or problems. You can get into the emotions. I know we talked about that earlier, emotions of your characters, theme, things like that. So he doesn't have any. Oh, okay. So here's an example. Describe the setting in detail and then use descriptive language. So this is what you would give the students. We would watch this and then they would use over here to use descriptive language to talk about the setting, and then they would share it. One thing that you can do with this is the big picture of this is that you would just say setting to students, and they would go search for appropriate media, whether it be a picture of setting or a video with setting, with their interest in mind. And then they come back, and so every single student in your class has a different setting that they're using descriptive language to talk about. And then you can stop, pause, reteach if somebody has setting incorrect, like if they're describing the character instead of the setting. So this is describe the character of the dog in detail. So again, please find us a video or a picture of a character of a dog, and then share with us details about that dog. And so if somebody's saying big and wet nose, and or maybe they're talking about the setting, you can stop and reteach, review, and move on from there. I like this one. I like Bukakucha. It's a fun one. Yes. So I know we have 10 more minutes, but I feel like I have thrown a lot at you guys. So I want to give you some time to process that, ask questions. If you have questions, you can ask them in the chat. I know I'm on a little bit of a lag. But again, this will all be up on the Canvas page, so you can access this. You can see people are already accessing it. Everything you can click on, it'll take you to something to help you. It's awesome. Templates for everything. And again, the whole point of an EduProtocol, the big picture, is that you teach them how to do what you want them to do in order to dive deeper into what you want them to learn. So always start with relationships, social, emotional learning, things that they already know, their interests, what they enjoy, and then dive deeper into that content. So this is like EduProtocols are awesome ways to, and SmartStarts are awesome ways to just start the day, right? So even if you're diving into content starting next Monday, you can still start your live chats with one of these and build that social emotional before you dive into your content a little deeper. Thanks, Katie. I didn't know which ones to share because I love them all so much, so I just kind of picked some. Hopefully that helps. Master slides and background, Patricia, are ways that you can share templates that don't allow the students to, they can only edit certain parts of your slides. So if you want to learn more about master slides and more about how to use Google Slides, there's a session coming up right after this that will be fantastic for you to attend. Thank you. Thank you for all the great comments. Hopefully I did not give you cognitive load. I hope I didn't overload you. Take it a step at a time, right? We got this. So I know I've been saying it in every single one of my presentations, but be patient, be flexible, and have grace. Have grace with yourself, have grace with your students and their parents. That's how we're gonna make it through the year. Congratulations on making it through week 1. We got this, I promise. We'll be fine. We'll survive. Have a great weekend. Bye.